Alright. Hang on, I got pear in my teeth. Trying to eat healthier. And like, if you ow. Ah, in there. Hang on. They're like, if you eat substitute fruit with chips, it's healthier for you. Not that I eat chips anyway. Like, very rarely. There you go. But as sweet as a pear is, I don't know if that's any better or not. It's kind of like swapping out the sugar for the sodium. Not like sodium. Alright. I should have got water before I did this. I was just so excited! Ah! I made my first blender plug-in. Whew. Oh, let me turn this down. I ain't got Gorilla's money. Get down. Okay, sorry. I'm just so excited. I made my first blender plugin, and it started basically because I hate Unity. Alright, so what this is a plugin that lets you convert Second Life into VRM. And if you don't know, VRM is like virtual reality models. It's what Vroid uses in a lot of VTuber programs. So it basically is a way to convert your Second Life assets to that format. That's the goal. So, because I have a bunch of Second Life avatars, and I have more experience, like, 10 plus years using the Second Life skeleton. And when I try to use the Vroid skeleton that they give you to rig, it's like super lacking. So, like, look at the skeleton. That's it. Let me scoot it over so we can get a better look to shame it. Alright, see, this is the skeleton that they give you when they get hands. I've never seen it with hands. I remember ragging on it super hard, like, it don't even come with hands. I don't know how I missed it, but I guess it does have hands. So at least I'll take that back. So this is the skeleton that they give you to make Vroid stuff with. And I'm like, alright. I mean, it don't have a tail. It doesn't have wings. It's just supposed to be humanoid. And it don't even got, like, back legs and stuff like I'm used to. Damn, that changes the whole thing. Had I seen that, I don't think I would have went the extra mile making... I feel like somebody just went, like, you just wasted your life. Like, the whole reason I did all this, I was like, when I try to edit the skeleton, it doesn't edit right. It doesn't do mirror in the old blender, or this blender for that. It doesn't even have hands. I have to find another alternative, and it had hands the whole time. Well, that's that then, I guess. Well, anyway, it's still a good plug-in. Alright. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm just so tickled by that. One of the key reasons I did this, I was like, and now you guys, you can have hands. Oh, and hands were always there. Alright, let's just at least talk about the thing then. I'm going to reload this so that I have a fresh skeleton. So once again, we are using animals for a testing thing. So I'm using my blatant cat because it's like the perfect test subject for this experiment. Because it has wings, it has tails, it has, hands. Which I now find out that, all the thing has hands. So that's funny. So I was using that when I was working this. So we have right here, it's just a plain Second Life skeleton. And before I did this, the method of transferring Second Life to VRM was to take all your stuff out of Second Life and then rig it to the VRM skeleton. And yeah, it was just like you had to re-rig everything from scratch. And while I personally find the idea of re-rigging stuff from scratch fun, not everybody else would. So that was kind of like, yeah, Zero, that's so cool. I'd love to take all 50 of my avatar accessories and re-rig them to an anime character. That's so much fun. You know, that's how that was coming back out. So, I found a way to make this whole thing easy by like a couple pushes of a button. And as you guys know, I can't script turn it's nothing, so I had to use Chat GPT to make this whole thing go. So I'm sure a human could have done it more efficiently, but I have zero skill and scripting and zero money to pay somebody. And putting this together took like 2 days. So I can imagine what 2 days from 3 o'clock to 11 o'clock, because that's when my husband got home. So I had to follow the accords and stop working and spend time with him. So 2 days of that many hours of work. How many is that? That's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 2 8-hour days. How much that would cost if I had hired a human to do it? And God knows I can't do scripting, like reading the like. Wow, just even thinking about Python is making my brain explode and my lip. I'm drooling. I think that might be brain fluid. That's not drool. It's too thick for that. Anyway, so I'm not that great at this. So it took a lot of talking to Chat GPT. I want this to work, and then have the errors pop up, and then tell it the errors, and then try to work around it until it got something. So this is what we came up with, and it's completely out of order because I tried to pack it up, and I don't know how to do that. So I messed up the order. So I'm gonna fix this real quick, if you don't mind. So I'm organizing. I love. Okay, first of all, I'm using Blender 3. That's like a whole update for me. I'm switching between Blender 2.79, of course, but this whole conversion thing is done in Blender 3, and I gotta see if I can get it back to work on 2.7, just cause, you know, Viva Blender 2.7. Alright, so let's just talk about how easy it is and by the push of a button. I tried to put as many features in here as I could that I could think of that would make the process a lot easier for you. I know I forgot to make a button that can generate a second life skeleton, so we can just go right in. Because you know, what if somebody wants to make the actual skeleton to rig to? It would require them to have Evastar, and I forgot to do that. So maybe sometime today I'm gonna try to see if I can wrangle with GPT to make a button that generates a second life skeleton that you can rig to. But right now it only works with stuff that already has a second life skeleton in it. I am gonna turn this off because I don't have Gorilla's money. Alright, so what it is, so let's say we have a second life skeleton, and I put as many quality of life stuff in here. So basically, you would just push this button that says right here, convert second life skeleton to VRM. It's done. It tells you right here, converted 33 bones. Then we need to turn it around so that's in the proper rotation. So you just push this button that says turn around, and now it's rotated in the proper direction. VRM is known for its physics bones, what we call physics, but in there they call it spring bones. So there is a button that will allow you to instantly add spring physics to the tail and the ears. Like, those are just set. So whatever you have set as ears is automatically grouped in there. It can be a spring bone if you wanted to. And tail is already set up in a group, so you can just push that and do it. So you would go down here to the bone factory, because I thought that would be a funny name to call it, and you would say start, and it instantly puts you into pose mode, because you can only set the spring stuff in pose mode. I thought it was going to be edit mode, but no, pose mode. So start, and it switches you into there, and then you would select all the bones are selected for you. Now, if you're one of the people who need, like me, that you need to see in here, you can push this button and it will toggle the x-ray of the bone so you can see in and out of it. So no more keys for that, just push toggle visibility right there. And right here, it shows you the stiffness of the bones. It tells you what the stuff is, like what they mean. So you got stiffness, which is tight and snappy. The more positive it is. like loose and floppy, loose and laggy. If you want to make it negative, gravity, and drag. So it tells you what these mean, so you can just adjust it here. We had originally one of those things, a preview, so they could show you what it looks like. But when I was working the other stuff in, somehow it broke. So I was like, oh well, we can just throw some numbers in here. And also had presets. I tried to do presets, but Blender just did not like that. So this is what we got. You can just change the stiffness of everything. It goes all the way up to like 10 and -10. So you can experiment with how much you want the stiffness and stuff. There you go. Once you figure out what you want, you just press this button and say apply to tail, and it tells you right here the tail has spring. And if you want to, you can do the same thing with the ears, and you can press this button and say, apply your settings to the ears. It updates automatically, so if you don't like how something came out, you can just, adjust the thing and then press apply again. Or if you don't want it, you can just press remove spring and then just not have them work all together. With Vroid and VRM, they don't have face bones like Second Life does. They go off of sliders, like shape keys. And in the VRM community, there are two types of shape keys. I found out in the community. One is the default ones that Vroid does, and if you select, let me go back into object mode. If you select what you want to have shape keys with, because it's mostly with the face, you can select the mesh that you want, and then press add Vroid shape keys, and it automatically. Let me go back. Go back. So I can show you the shape keys. So right now, this doesn't have any shape keys. And you can press add Vroid shape keys, and then it gives you all of the Vroid named shape keys that they use, and then you can make the expressions you want for your character in there. Now all of them will be empty. It doesn't just on expressions onto there, because it's not the same thing. Like when it comes to transferring shape keys, you have to do it on a base that are similar to each other. And as you can see, this is a cat here, so it's not like we can copy anime face shape keys onto a cat head. So you have to do those manually. But all of the names are here, so if you're using a program that animates based on these names, you will have them here in order to do the same thing with. Now, some people find that even though this is a lot of shape keys from the average person, I found that during research that the VRM community considered these shape keys to be really limited. So they have the AR kit, which adds 50 more shape keys to the thingy-majig, and we push this button here and it adds those AR keys in here. Now if you feel like that was a mistake, you can actually go down here to these buttons and you can press delete Vroid ones or delete the AR keys, and if you want to, or you can just press this button and delete all the shape keys, so and start over if you wanted to. One of the other cool thing about it is that you can select that armature, right? Let me close this. And you can add in your metadata, so you can put in the character's name, the creator, who you are, and you can pick the profile, the thumbnail picture that you want for the character. You can't preview it. So we tried. I really did try to get that to work, but it just would not work. Oh, I forgot one of the coolest things. Okay, so one of the things that I love the most about Vroid and VRM models to begin with is that it has the ability to wiggle. Now I was looking into we were from Second Life, so we're spoiled with wings and tails. By default, Vroid does not come with, the VRM skeleton does not come with wings or tails. And when I was looking into how people make wings for Vroid and such, people were just drawing the wings onto the character using hair. And with the hair, like making it hair, that's how they get their spring bones and stuff in there. So it just got wiggly wings and stuff behind them. Okay, so we're not doing that. We are changing that, and we're going to use the Second Life wing bones that were included here. The problem with that is that by them being extra, because that's what I found that was really cool about the VRM skeleton, is that if you have a certain set, the base, like if you have the base bones that it requires to move, arms, legs, fingers, and fingers are even optional, but you need a head, chest, middle, root, two upper legs, two lower legs, feet, and the hands. Everything else you add to the skeleton is completely optional and accepted. You can't even dream of doing that in Second Life, right? So, us adding wings to this is absolutely no problem. So we have wing bones, the regular wing bones, and we can assign these as a spring group. So I think it would be like controller, not the controller. It's going to be custom spring boots. Okay. So we can select a group of bones like this. So I want this to be the wing group for the right. We can go ahead to this new thing where it lets you create the new group, and we name it like wing 0. And then we create a new spring group. Oh, forgot. We got to be in pose mode. So I'm just going to switch to pose mode. So once you're in pose mode, and then you can name this wing 0, and you can press create spring group, and now it's like, okay, so here is wing 0, and it talks about this line of groups. You can change the stiffness and the gravity power, all that stuff, and apply it to that group of bones. So this now is a spring group, and when you attach wings to it, which I have, I really should have saved the wings I did for that. So I have a pair of wings that I grabbed before I left, and we're just going to use this as the example. So I'm going to join those two together, and then I'm going to press G and scroll it down, press S and scroll it in. Now, you can put in as many models as you want. It's like the last thing we did with Second Life when you are transferring something that's rigged to the skeleton to something else. You want to keep the skeleton around because that holds all the rigged data. But when you go to export your VRM, it can't be visible because it's like, oh, hey, there's 2 skeletons on this field. We only allow 1 skeleton. So you'll have to hide any additional bones or other skeletons that come in whenever you work with VRM. So I made that actually a button on here. You can just select it and then you press hide, select it. So yeah, no need to press H anymore. Just click it and push a button. Okay, so we have our skeleton, right? Our wings. And I'm going to switch it over to the Blatant Cat Skelly. And I'm going to move and edit them. Turn that on. And I'm going to just edit it so that it goes to this bone. I want to do something that can make the bones bigger, but it kept erroring and I was tired. Alright, so I'm just going to vaguely put it on the skeleton. Just a little bit. See the little dots? That's the skeleton that we're supposed to align to. You can edit the bones and make it better. Like, these are way spread out, too spread out for me. I just left them from the default Second Life stand. But you can edit the bones and it'll still work fine. Like the position. Alright, so I'm just going to put this wing here. Ignore that wing. It don't even got nothing springy on it. Okay, so once we have that done, all we have to do is press A, select everything. There is a button that says, there we go. Sorry, when I had made this, they were in a different position. There we go. So start, it's in pose mode, finish, we're here, select all, export as VRM. Oh, hang on. something's messed up. Of course it would mess up during a demo. Like, I never had anything mess up before. Let me see. Toggle X-ray. Alright, let me look at your bones real quick, lady. I'm seeing clavicles. Okay, no, it's converted. So convert to second life. Convert to VRM. I did that. Turned it around. Blade and Skelly. Export. Oh. That's weird. And no, I never had that happen. Right, so we export it. And well, that's one that worked. Enable spring bones, so you can see that it does indeed work. That was my last test for the night before I went to sleep. Alright, so you see here, we got the spring bones are in there. We got a wiggly tail. And if I was to turn the wind on, enable wind, you can see that they are affected by springs. Not like heavily because I didn't set the settings or something, but you see what I mean. It works, right? That poor cat got the wind directly on its head, poor thing. Alright, so you see? So it lets you make the settings, makes you do the things, got floaty thingies, and you can this. So what does this mean for you, the Second Life user? Why would you want this? Well, I don't know. Maybe you want to do like me and bring your avatar over from Second Life to here. I used it and I turned my character into a Vroid the long way. So this will speed up that process a lot faster. You can also use it to bring accessories and stuff that you have in Second Life and use it to create this. You maybe you're gonna make a movie or something, and it's easier to do it in this format than it is to do so in Second Life with its restrictions, especially if you want long animations, because Second Life is limited to I think it's 59.99 seconds of animation, and it has to be under 250 kilobytes, where you can just use your take your Vroid. I'm just gonna call it your Vroid, and you can put any animation on there, any length, especially with the motion capture stuff. So you can take your craft up into the next level. There is a program. Some guy had a video on it that shows you how to turn them in here, because he uses it to make fan Ruby movies. So you can even be even more cinematic with that stuff. Maybe you want to do VTubing, and you want your Second Life avatar to be your VTube animation instead of using an anime one. Doing this will allow you to do that. So yeah, that's the plugin, and I made it, and I'm so proud of it. I just gotta figure out how to box it up, and I'll put it on GitHub. So there's gonna be a proper tutorial for it. In fact, I feel like this should be it. Like, I should scratch this and be like, this is the tutorial for how to use it. But no, I feel like there'd be a right tutorial on it. But that's the concept, and I think it's really cool. And it's a lot easier than the previous one, because you don't have to use Unity or nothing. All you gotta do is just take a Second Life skeleton and then press convert. Use all that information that we did, because it kind of puts a little more stock in the Second Life skeleton and stuff, because after all this time of teaching how to use the Second Life skeleton, you can now use that skeleton other places, and that's good. It's not like, well, I don't play Second Life anymore, I guess I can't use all this 10 years worth of knowledge anywhere. No, you can use it here and make and rig avatars. So that's it for the tutorial dry run. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Think you'll use it? Will you download it? Will you tell your rich friends who are like generous with donations to donate to me? Cause that'd be cool. Oh yeah, it's gonna be free. I feel like I swiped enough of plugins to not have the right to charge anybody anything for it. Plus, if I did charge for it, I feel like somebody's going to steal it and then give it out to and be like, haha, the tables are turned. And I refuse to give anybody that kind of satisfaction. So, it's going to be free. It's going to be on GitHub. It's going to be in a Discord. And I'll try my best to get everything up and running and out today. So, you guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you later on my next stream where I have to rig my husband's old gigantic wolf avatar and turn it into a V-Roid thing so I can put it in games. Fun. Well, see you later.